Well, Josh, this morning I thought, well, this is a great day for Josh to be down covering the Cinco de Mayo festival, but I hear that's not the case as far as the weather goes.
Well, I'll still be down at the Cinco de Mayo festival, so I'll just be fighting with the rain showers.
An atmospheric river.
An atmospheric river, right. Yes. It approaches as we work our way through the rest of the afternoon hours and eventually into the weekend, and that might call for a dragon forecast. Now, you might be saying, Josh, what is a dragon forecast? Well, there's a very unique way of forecasting the weather right here in downtown Portland, and it's been doing it for over 35 years. Here's a closer look. As a meteorologist, this is probably one of my favorite art pieces in Portland. No, it's not the Allow Me piece, but I do love that sculpture. It's the weather machine, forecasting since 1988. While I give my weather forecast each day at noon, it's doing the same in Pioneer Square. Each sculpted character presents itself with a musical fanfare. It's the final character that forecasts the day's weather. The sun depicts a clear and sunny day. Clouds are shown with the heron, and stormy weather is displayed by the dragon. The sculpture forecasts, not controls the weather, despite the name being the weather machine. Otherwise, I'd be out of a job. It doesn't only predict the day's conditions, but it also shares the temperature. A column of bulbs sheds light on the current conditions, with each red bulb indicating 10 degrees and each white bulb displaying 2. But this isn't the only weather forecaster in town. You can't forget about the weather beacon, with its color-changing light predictions. So while you're in downtown Portland, keep an eye to the sky and an eye on the weather forecasting machines around us. So yeah, the forecast probably calling for that dragon as we prepare for that stormy weather to once again return to the Pacific Northwest. So just a fun sight, but make sure you stand away from it because it does spray water, and I watched a lot of people get wet, surprisingly, even while the sun was shining. But right now, let's give you a live look out over the Vancouver waterfront thanks to the Hotel Indigo Kirkland Tower camera as our temperatures hover right now in towards the mid-60s. Considerably warmer compared to where we have been for the past several days. But you'll notice things start to change later this afternoon, seeing the rain showers once again return as those temperatures slide back into the upper 50s. Now, that cloud coverage already starting to march its way across much of the Portland metro area with that nice onshore flow. But some of us already along the coastline picking up on some of those heavier showers. That's going to be the ongoing case as we move our way through the afternoon. As we take a live look out towards Lincoln City, yeah, kind of gray and gloomy, and that's what all of us can look forward to here across the I-5 corridor. And it comes in the form of an atmospheric river. Now, typically we see this in the winter months, allowing for a lot of moisture to push its way into the west coast. But this one, very weak in nature. But you do notice it starts to bullseye us by the time we get to this afternoon. And then it slowly starts to shift its way ever so slightly to the south, impacting California. So this is a great late season rain shower for us here in western Oregon and Washington. Now, yesterday, you'll notice that we had all of the white bulbs there all along the coastline, indicating that there was no atmospheric river. But now we've started to see some blue pop back up for parts of the southern coast of Oregon. That's where a weak atmospheric river is a potential as all of that wet weather really becomes widespread. Those yellows and oranges, a good indication of the heaviest of the downpours that will start to enclose much of the I-5 corridor. The pinks and the blues, that's the snowfall that will once again return to the high terrain of the Cascades and even some of the high peaks of the Coast Range, picking up on a snow flurry or two. Now, you'll notice that the Portland metro area holds on to that wet weather potential all the way into Sunday. This will be a super soaker event for us as we work our way into the first weekend of May. Helping to fill up the rain gauge, pretty significant, seeing about 2 inches of moisture for the I-5 corridor, maybe even 2 to even 3 inches by the end of the weekend for some of our coastal spots. And just to give you a perspective, on average, the month of May, we should see about 2.5 inches of rain for the entirety of the month. So we could almost see our entire monthly rainfall within just one weekend as we approach that 2-inch mark. But snow elevation levels dipping down close to about 4,000 feet. That's great for the skiers and snowboarders alike, helping to pile up the snow over Oregon's highest peak. We're not talking about a foot of snow. We're talking about potentially feet of accumulative snow for those mountain ski resorts, which would really help out the base layer, start to rebuild, and maybe push our ski season back ever so slightly. Now for today, our temperature calls for about 66 degrees. It will start to cool off as the wet weather pushes its way back into our area later this afternoon. Tonight, 49 is where we fall to. The cloud coverage acts a bit like a blanket for us with our 7-day forecast showing that Cinco de Mayo slightly drier. And I mean, maybe just a few less raindrops falling overhead as our temperatures suffer, falling back into the low 50s. And on average, our daytime high temperature this time of year should be in the mid 60s, so about 10 degrees cooler than what is typical for the start of May. But there is a light at the end of the tunnel. It comes in the form of some more sunshine. Wednesday, Thursday, highs back up into the 70s. And Jenny, as I was kind of looking into my crystal ball, just a little bit past that, we could potentially see the 80s return to Portland.
I love the sound of that.
I know.
Yes.
Summer just right around the corner.
Oh my gosh. Sorry for you that you're going to be in the rain tonight, but it'll be fun.
Come down and see me.
It will be fun.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Hey, up next we have some special guests in the studio. You're going to want to stick around. Stay tuned.